It's Ash from Super Videos back for another video for The Last of Us. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how the Cordyceps origin on The Last of Us HBO adaptation was pure perfection. So stay tuned, we'll be right back with this breakdown. Alright, as always, before we dive into it, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. With that said, let's get right into it. Let's start with the opening minutes. Obviously, we saw the origin of the cordyceps fungus. We saw that it originated from Indonesia. We saw the Indonesian scientist or the university professor, and we saw a lot of background information as far as how the cordyceps fungus infection started. Everything about the opening minutes I absolutely loved. And what I absolutely loved even more is that they explained things without spoon feeding things to us, and they didn't really spend more time than needed on any specific subject. For example, they pretty quickly explained that the cordyceps fungus originated in Indonesia. Obviously, the scientists were skeptical because the cordyceps fungus doesn't infect humans, but in this case it had. So they did that kind of back and forth pretty quickly and pretty effectively. And they even did things very effectively as far as telling us that it started in a grain or flour factory, which is definitely something that goes back to what we saw in the previous episode, because obviously there was a lot of attention on the foods that Joel, Ellie, and Tommy were eating. So this kind of went back to that as well. So that was awesome. And also, if we think about it, in the first episode, there was a tease at Indonesia. They were talking about Indonesia on the radio. So everything that we saw in this episode pretty much aligned with everything that they teased already in the first episode. And I absolutely enjoyed the tension that they were building with the scientist going to that room, checking the bite, and all of that. I thought that that was all effective and it was very creepy. And it definitely was a great way to give us the origin of the cordyceps fungus without overdoing it, keeping it simple but very creepy at the same time. Now, as far as the tendrils coming out of the mouth, which we saw in the origin story as well. I'm not a huge fan of the tendrils. I thought that maybe I should just give it some time, maybe it'll grow on me, but it's just not working for me. I feel like it's not really matching the vibes of what The Last of Us is supposed to be. So, because of that, I'm not necessarily connecting that well with the tendrils, particularly, which we kind of obviously saw a little bit for the origin in the opening minutes of the second episode. The other thing that I absolutely loved is how well this connected to the premiere opening minutes or the cold open with the scientist talking about the possibility of the cordyceps fungus growing in humans and how if that happens it's the end for us. I absolutely loved it. And the other thing that I absolutely loved is how both of these two opening minutes were pretty much giving the same message. They were both telling us about how much humanity is gonna be at risk if such a thing happens. I love the comment that I read somewhere which said that both of these opening minutes told us different versions of how effed we are in this world. And I absolutely loved how that was phrased. The first episode told us that if the cordyceps fungus grow in humans, then we lose. It's over for us. It emphasized how there's no vaccine, how there's no medicine. Similarly, in the second episode, it emphasized how there is no cure, how there is no vaccine. The only way to deal with this is to bomb the city and everyone in it to stop the spread. So I absolutely loved how both of these two episodes lined up pretty well and how both of those kind of gave us two different perspectives that told us the same thing. What I absolutely loved how both of these opening minutes gave us a feeling of dread, a feeling of anxiety. And that's exactly the reason why I think the origin story for the cordyceps fungus, based on everything that we've seen in the first two episodes, is pure perfection. Putting the tendrils aspect out of it, which is something that I didn't enjoy quite as much, everything else surrounding the origin story was pure perfection. That's everything I wanted to go through in this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to join our community, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.